how much of your equity can you use towards an investment property, like using one property equity to buy another one? I'm going to get into that. And also, how to do it safely, like why do people use two banks? Should you stretch your home loan term? These are different options that kind of come up when you start considering buying your first investment. If you've had your home for a while and you're sitting on a bunch of equity and you're thinking about leveraging it, first of all, how much equity is available? It's not all of it, I can tell you that. You've got to imagine that some of the deposit is stuck in the original home to hold it there. Most banks will let you go to up to 80% of your home. So you take 80% of your current value and take away the existing debt you have. That difference is how much is available towards the deposit for the new home. At this stage, it's about 30% deposit you need for the new home, right? Now, there are cases where you can have less than that and still buy an investment. There's exemptions for new builds. There are other ways to sometimes have a little bit less than that as well. So, it's important to talk to a good financial advisor like ourselves, obviously, to get custom-made advice. But why do people use two banks? Sometimes you hear about this, and there's a really good reason. So, it's kind of a pro tip, but you'd be smart to probably raise the deposit against your home with one bank, with the bank you're probably with, and take that to another bank and let them have the investment property as a security, right? That would be this kind of smarter way of doing it. Why? Because when you sell a property later on down the track, you'll be surprised to know that if you do everything with one bank, when you sell, that bank can sometimes get you to use the sale proceeds or the money from the sale. They can get you to use that to actually pay down other debt, like your home debt. So sometimes, you might not always think that it was related to that property, but in the background, it's all cross-secured. So, using a couple of banks means that they're separated and you have more control over money when you sell a property. But also later on when rules change, if you're trying to get a top up, depending on which values have gone up higher, like those things, like having two banks sometimes can give you a little bit of a trump card, okay, later on down the track. So now, another thing I want to talk about is actually stretching your home loan term to accommodate a better cash flow to enable the investment property. So what do I mean by that? If you've had your home for 10 years, 15 years, and you've only got like 15, 20 years remaining on your home loan term, and you're kind of weighing out whether you should buy an investment, it's probably a smart idea to consider stretching your original home loan term out to 30 years again. Yes, it will cost you more interest in the long run if you stick to the minimum repayments, but you can use things like revolving credit home loans and offset home loans to still make additional optional repayments, right? But why would you want to stretch the original home loan term? Well, you need to build some resilience in your cash flow if you're going to own two properties. If you're going to have expenses that might come up unexpectedly, you're going to have to build a bit of a buffer. So instead of trying to pay all the debts off faster, it's better to build up your war chest, your savings, just in case tenants move out for a bunch of time or something happens, maintenance costs come up. You're going to have two properties to look after. So that's a good idea as well. But look, with all of this advice, it's really, really important to talk to your financial advisor, a good one like ourselves, because you never know what's on the horizon. One of the really important other points is that if you think that you might want to buy a bigger home soon or you need to do some renovations, be careful buying an investment, because really you're tying up equity that you can use elsewhere. So again, sit down and have a think about what the big priorities are in the coming years, and get some clear visibility in terms of what's possible, what's not, and all the options with a good mortgage advisor. Thanks for watching anyway. Hamish from monline.co.nz.